Okay. According to this, I am live. So there we go. None of my guest panel have arrived yet, but let's get going. Welcome from behind enemy lines to Shooting with Disabilities. I'm Rick's Life as I see it. 1 hour talk show talking about shooting with disabilities or whatever else crosses my mind, politics, or anything, basically. Um, Also answer any questions from you, the listener. You can do it in the chat boxes or send me an email at rickslife@gmail.com or the shorter version, spottedrick@gmail.com. Also, this show will be on audio file, will be on Podbean, iTunes, and Stitchers, normally within 24 hours of the show ending. There you go. Hey, G Webs, good to see you. And also, I do have a link. I think it's on my normal page. It shows. I think it's mainly on my YouTube page. It shows a link to Spreadshirt for T-shirt, coffee mugs, and everything. Well, as at the moment, there's nothing there because my design got rejected for copyright. So I got to come up with a new avatar. The patent on the can, even though it doesn't say Heinz on the actual picture, it's the actual badge that Heinz that their Spreadshirt is saying is copyrighted. I'm not sure if it is or not, but I can understand their position. So I got to come up with a new avatar. I'm working on just getting a copy of the bowler hat and putting Rick's Life as I see it on the actual hat band that goes around and use that instead. But there we go. That's life as I see it. You know what I'm saying? So no, I said none of my panels arrived yet, but we are broadcasting on gun channels and simultaneously on YouTube, or you could say it the other way around. It depends how you want to do it. If you want to join the panel, I just put links in the on gun channels and YouTube. So if you wish to join me, feel free. You know, I'm not sure what we're going to talk about tonight. I did go shooting yesterday. I actually finally got out to the range. And I actually used my scooter for the first time out there too, and it went well. It went well. Driving around the range, I went and painted all the targets I was going to use and everything else and shooting from. Of course, after I'm all done, I'm thinking, well, maybe I should have filmed this. Maybe, done a video for my thing, but there's me. I'm all done, ready to go home. I said, well, I ain't setting all up again just to film a little bit of it. Plus, I was tired. Hey, G Webs, good to see you.
Hey, thanks for the link.
Yeah, but I tell you one thing I did notice going with the actual topic, shooting with disabilities, is as everybody knows, I carry a Smith & Wesson 45 ACP full size. And whether it's because I haven't shot for a couple of months because of the weather conditions and not getting out to the range. But man, last night when I was sitting here, resting here at home on the computer and watching TV, it set off the arthritis in my hands and my wrists so bad that I was in agony last night with the pain from the recoil. So is it because I haven't been shooting for a couple of months, or am I going to have to go down to the dreaded 9mm, to have less recoil?
I'm going to leave.
You going to leave? I don't blame you. When you talk about 9mm, I don't blame you. Oh, Rich say if that shield is copyrighted, Heinz better be suing the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania because it's all over our state issued items.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So what I might do is I might write the Spreadshirt and ask them what's actually copyrighted, because the actual word Heinz is actually it's been blacked out. It's actually gone blue like the rest of the thing on my avatar. So yeah, or I'll go to a different T-shirt company.
Yeah.
So there we go. Yeah, just a good point. Now I didn't think about that. You're right. It is all over Pennsylvania. I remember seeing it when I was driving through there. Yeah. Anyway, so back to the thing. So
were you shooting from the cart?
Yes, actually sitting in it, shooting straight on, shooting from different angles. It was I was practicing. I was going real slow. I was practicing drawing from a sitting position in case I'll do it for self-defense purposes. That's what I was there practicing, because
Yeah.
I might get attacked as I'm going across the Walmart parking lot.
Yeah, of course. They're going to go after what they perceive as a victim, and if you just go to a range and stand there, that's nothing like drawing from a seated position.
Yeah, so that's what I was doing. So I was doing it there, and because also where I was going with this is I don't park when I take the actual scooter to Walmart. I don't park in the handicap parking spot because I have the carrier on the back of my pickup and it sticks too far out. So I park over sort of like on the further out on the parking lot before I can lower the thing down and have plenty of room to move, not in anybody's way. So if anybody's going to attack me, they're going to attack me from there to the door. So that's what I was practicing, shooting, pulling, drawing from there. Because what I would do was normally what I do when I ride the thing is I put the right armrest up because I carry on the right side. I might have to find something. I might have to go see if it's wintertime. I could wear a shoulder holster, but that really ain't going to help me in the summer.
Well, like I usually wear a button shirt, right?
Yeah.
So you wear a button shirt and a t-shirt underneath, you got to have a shoulder holster in between there.
Yeah. Good
and
thing.
Then leave a button or two open. Just reach in there. I like that idea because you could be laying on the ground with a shoulder holster. I mean, unless you're laying on the shoulder holster, you pretty much have access sitting, standing, laying down, rolling around underneath of something.
That is a good point. I was thinking about that too when I was sitting here last night.
And I would think that just for farting around, it's less in the way, right? It's there. You can be in control of it easier. When it's on your side and trying to fart around, it's going to catch on shit and get in the way.
Yeah, it is. It is. Also, to be honest with you, like when I was going over when I was riding around on the range, it's not totally level. And it feels safer with the armrest down. So if it tips over one side, you lean against the armrest so it doesn't feel like you're falling out of the seat. With it up, I felt like maybe I could fall out.
And then plus if you're in a weird position when you got to draw, and you're wiggling around in that weird position, it's even worse, right?
So there we go. I'm on the lookout for. I've got a real cheap shoulder holster that I play around with, but anybody can recommend a good.
Well, let's help you spend money here. So I have a thing called a guide holster. So I think they call it that because it's made to go like outside the clothing for like boats or an airplane or something.
Yeah.
But it's not huge or like extra bulky for any reason. So that's called a guide holster, and I forget exactly where I got it, but it's leather. It looks a lot like a modern version of those World War II pilot holsters, those leather ones for the 1911s.
Got a guy
like a hunting guide or a fishing guide.
Oh, guide holster. Okay.
Because again, I think it's like an Alaska thing, or like if you're up jumping out of an airplane into a boat. It's the kind of holster that you would have a big gun for, bear or something,
Yeah.
and you don't care if it's concealed at all. I got it for a big Glock, and same kind of concept. You can have a bigger gun than you might normally carry that way, but super strong, super rugged.
Yeah. Hey, Ghost, good to see you. Yeah, actually, I'll look them up. I looked them up on the web.
They're
I
saying
think the shoulder holster is the way to go because normally, I mean, I'm a big guy, and I wear t-shirts and wearing a loose shirt over the top. I've even been known in the summertime. How can I put this? Sometimes I've been conscious of my size since I've been disabled. Anyway, I've got bigger. I've always been a big guy, but since I haven't worked for 2.5 years now, I've put on about 100 pounds. I had this discussion a few weeks ago. I've already lost 30 of that 100 pound, so we're getting back down to where I was. But I'm conscious of the extra weight I put on. So what I will do is like wear a vest over my t-shirt. It feels like, I don't know if it's hiding me or not, but it feels like it is. So yeah, so wearing a loose fitting flat, shirt over a t-shirt would work.
And they're saying like a Hawaiian shirt, and that would break up the pattern. The pattern of the shirt would break up the.
Yeah. No problem, Native Gun. Glad you received them. I'm just waiting for the poker chips to come from Ghost Tactical. I haven't received them yet.
I got so many of those. He was like giving them out, just handed them to people.
He said he was going to send me some to give away, but I haven't got them yet. But,
handfuls of them. He just a whole bunch of them spilled on the floor. He's like, "Oh, I don't care about them."
Yeah, I know. I know. I was going to send them to Rick, but who cares who has them? I know. Hey, I'm not saying do it, but I appreciate it because actually talking about that.
I simply asked him for enough to set up a game with 4 or 5 people playing poker, and he refused to give me that many.
I will say here, I got a whole box full of junk from even a hat from Ohio 45 ACP.
Right on.
A bunch of stuff to give away. So Saturday I'll be doing some more quizzes. But no problem, Ghost. I know you're a busy man. Because you're up there with the big boys now. I mean, you're even on first name terms with what's his name, Tack Daddy. Kevin. You know what I'm saying? So you're big shit now. So there we go.
When they're not even live, it's all Kev.
Yes. Yeah, I noticed. So I appreciate it though, Ghost. Whenever you can get them to me, I will. As I said, like you give me one, and I'll hold it up there, and I'll promote your brand during the whole time I'm using them to give away. If anybody wants to send me stuff like that, by all means, I'll promote you. No problem. And if you're even good, I'll even put you on. Like when I post these videos on my channel, is I'll make a thumbnail, then I'll make the cards and the things at the end of the thing. And right now I have gun websites and Clover Tech are the main two that come up all the time. Check out these channels. So I can even put yours in there too, if you want me to. I'm just letting you guys know I'm easy going that way. Because actually, not only does it help you, it helps me too. So there we go. So anyway, what did Ghost Tactical say? Is the guide holster that shoulder sling holster? That's what Ghost is asking.
Yeah, very much like what the World War II pilots would have worn. Just a real simple, goes across your shoulder once, and then can attach to your belt.
Okay.
So
all right. I'm gonna look it up on the web.
It's not like a backpack or a bra or something that's around both shoulders or any kind of contraption like that. It's more to just carry one heavy gun on your side.
Yeah,
Kind
that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. Hey, Black Cat, good to see you. So, I don't know if anybody saw it, but I'll put it in there again. If anybody wants to join me, the link is in the chats. Hey, Raphael, or you asleep? Well, now you see your name there. Hey, Too Hottie. Too Hottie says most guide hosters or rugs that I've seen place the gun on your chest. Oh, rigs. Most of the rigs that I've seen are place the gun on your chest. I've seen those, but I've also seen one that puts it on the side there. But
this is more like a cross draw, like maybe on your side, like your ribs.
Yeah, that would work. Sitting down, because we are talking about me sitting down in my on my scooter, so that would work. That would work. So I'm gonna check it out. So anything else going on out there? Anybody else got anything to say? No. No. I do want to. I mean, if everybody's out there who was on the morning chat this morning, I got a bit loud and boisterous, so I wish to apologize. You saw the real Rick as I see it. It was definitely opinionated, and I'm not sure if I stepped on a few toes.
What was the subject?
It was we were talking about Constitution, Second Amendment, and being no, the main thing was being what's the word for it? Oh God Almighty, it slipped my mind. Not patriotic. Not gratitude. Give me another word. Come on.
Like an advocate?
No. When you oh God, the word slipped my mind. It's from tip of my tongue. Why you don't like when the people who kneel for the national anthem? Respect. It was out of respect.
Okay.
That was my argument this morning. I was getting real hostile, about it and stuff like that. I feel people should stand, even if they don't. Where I was going with this, and I don't know if it came across the wrong way, was problem is in our school systems. Somebody said, well, it's not the schools that should teach people, the kids it's the parents. But my argument is the parents of today weren't taught this in school, so they don't know any different. So we got to restart them again in the schools to respect, even teach them about the Constitution of the United States. And my argument is okay. I think we need to be patriotic. We need to be respectful. I think every classroom should stand and do the national anthem. Now, don't get me wrong. If somebody doesn't want to, that's fine. They can sit there and don't have to. My argument is just because one kid doesn't want to stand doesn't mean the whole classroom doesn't do it. Just to appease the one person. You know what I'm saying? It's I don't think the masses should suffer for the few. I don't know that I don't know if you'll call me okay, here's a good example. I mean, if somebody comes, I don't care what religion you are, the national anthem is to the flag of the United States. If you came here illegally, you want to be here. But if you don't want to praise the flag, that's fine. But don't expect the rest of us to sit down because you don't want to do it.
I hear you.
That was my argument, and I don't know if it came across the right way today. Okay, whoa, hang on. I got some stuff here in the chat. Hang on, I missed a bit here. The Miami Classic. Yeah, I mean, we were talking about, yeah, G and I were talking about shoulder race with me sitting on my scooter. So, yeah, and I wanted, I was asking for a good brand, a good make, what kind. I got a cheap one. I got, there's not even leather.
I've had some nylon ones that were okay. They probably last a long time, but they just weren't that comfortable. They were kind of bulky. And then that Holly one they're talking, or whatever that Bianchi, was it the Hollywood one? Or the Miami Classic. That
Yeah,
one is the kind where it straps around both your arms like a bra. And then it's the suspension is between the tension of your shoulders. So it kind of pulls your shoulders back with the elastic, and then that holds the gun. But it's for a 1911, so it holds the gun horizontally under your armpit.
yeah. Now,
So it's legs
on this
giving.
one, you're talking about, does it is the gun? I mean, is the back? I mean, is it pointing backwards or is it pointing downwards?
Down.
Okay, I think that's better.
Yeah, like much like the World War II holsters.
Yeah, yeah,
Because it's not made for a quick draw so much as just to be out of your way and to give you a solid enough harness for a heavy gun.
yeah, yeah. Okay. So, oh yeah. Then we were talking about, I was talking about, people need to be taught. Back to my argument this morning, people need to be respectful. Of what the our veterans have done for us. People have died to give you what you got. So if you don't want to stand, that's fine. But where I was going on with the whole scheme of this country. This was my opinion. You know, and I said it's changed. I mean, I graduated high school. What was it, 75? You know, and I think I was one of the last that got taught, the Constitution, Bill of Rights, and shit in school. So
No, I graduated after that, way after that, and we still had a Constitution class. Like if you
but
didn't, you weren't
it seems that it's changed so much that we need to I mean, because the parents of today weren't, a lot of them don't understand it. So how can they teach their kids at home? So we got to start back in the classroom. I mean, it's going to take
but
years.
then you're got to shuffle again. So the way I looked at it when I was in school, we'd be learning about something, maybe I don't know, they would give us the curriculum for the year and they would say, you're gonna learn this and this and this about world history. Maybe we're gonna spend, a week or whatever it is on World War One, or maybe whatever it is, throw up Civil War, World War Two, something. I'd go, oh, I wish we spent more time on that. But that's the kind of thing where at first my mindset was, okay, there's only so much history written about World War Two. It's already written down. So, it only takes 2 weeks to learn it because it exists, right? And the new stuff is always coming along. So, you're always going to have new history, right? So since I went to high school, 20 years worth of history happened. So they need to put another week in there for that history, right? So they don't get another week's worth of school. They got to cut something out in order to deal with the new stuff. But the problem is it's not like the old history from World War II exists and you just have to learn it, because at the same time new stuff is happening, like the world keeps going along, people are researching World War II and they're learning even more about it. So now, from significant, revelations to just the minutia of all the ways that people can research all different kinds of aspects of just a war. And now we can talk about other things like technology and innovation, all the stuff you might cover in a history class. I guess what I'm saying is the amount of stuff to learn grows every single day. So a teacher has to figure out what to filter out, right?
Yeah,
We're all saying, though, don't filter out the fucking Constitution.
basically, you know. Yeah, and also I was going on about, all leading into sports. Everybody's a winner. Everybody makes the team. I got cut from the team. I went home and cried about it. You know what I'm saying? I got picked up on another team. We still didn't win. We still didn't win. Still didn't get a trophy. Life goes on. You know what I'm saying? In the real world, you got to learn this stuff. Going through school and high school, everybody's a winner. When you get in the real world, this is where you have your problems. These kids get hurt and they don't understand. Well, No, I was a winner in school. You know? No, you weren't. You were just a participant. I don't know. Maybe I was getting out of order today, but that's the way. Hey, Night Strike, good to see you.
Hey, Rick. So Rick, what you're telling us is you couldn't get into Manchester United?
No, I got cut.
You got cut. Oh, that's rough.
I know. Back in the day. No, I played baseball and I played American, but a few years, like when I spent 3 years living in the Philippine Islands on Clark Air Base, right? And back then, this was during the Vietnam War, this was 69 to 72. It was so big, the high school and the middle school didn't have school teams. We had a league because there was that many kids. Baseball, we had a league. Football, we had a league. You know what I'm saying? And they had tryouts, and you got cut. You know, we didn't make it. I mean, I was a tubby little fat kid. I didn't make the team. You know, even though I thought I was a great baseball player. You know, I go home and cry about it, but there I go. I go out and try out again for another team. Got picked up. We didn't win. I didn't get a trophy that year, but at least I got to play. You know, today everybody wants to be a winner. Everybody wants. Every kid should play. You got to learn what no means. You know, and what happens is they get through high school, they get through college, and all of a sudden they're out in the real world. And they get their first job, and their boss says, "You suck. You're fired." And they go all apeshit, pull out a gun, and shoot everybody because they don't know how to handle it. Is what I was trying to say.
That only happens like lightning and less. So no.
Yeah, I don't know what your problem was, Rick, but I wasn't fat when I was a kid. So they actually wanted me. They actually fought for me. So
They did, huh?
Yeah, a couple times.
You know.
That's why I had to keep moving to different states because they would give them more lucrative sports.
Right, exactly. And then it all went away because I got fat.
All these state schools and stuff are chasing you all the time to get moving. All right. But I said that's what I was going on about this morning. And if I've offended anybody and they're in here tonight, I wish to apologize if I did. You know, but
well, you shouldn't have to apologize, Rick. And I'm going to say Rick shouldn't have to apologize to anyone. If you're offended, well, guess what? It's your right to be offended, but it's his right to offend you. So get over it.
Yeah, you're right. There we go. I'm trying to be please everybody.
You're backpedaling. You're backpedaling on what you're saying, Rick.
Yeah, let me give everybody a trophy. You know? So, yeah, you're right.
If you're offended by this, good. You should be because you're fucking wuss. Excuse my language.
Yeah, I went ape shit on something else this morning too, and I was swearing, and I said, "Oh God, I apologize for doing a night strike on you guys." You know.
Hey. Yeah. I just let one slip every now and then. All right.
Yeah. But how it all started was last night. They had the Rhode Island had another.
Yeah, I heard about that.
You know, another 19 bills go in front of the House again. Hey, you remember last time this happened? I told you they had one there that asked to reintroduce dueling.
Yeah.
It's disappeared. It's gone. It wasn't there last night. It's not even listed as one to be presented.
Rats.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But they had people there, and there was, according to the Providence Journal this morning, that newspaper is anti-gun big time. We're actually pretty decent. They said there was between 1,800 and 2,000 pro-gun people there last night. You know, one of the other news channels tried to say that, the pro-gunners were outnumbered. They weren't. It was the other way around. And you know they're trying. It was the same. It was the same old stuff. You know, semi-automatics and everything else. And even they got the police chiefs up and up there. One of the anti-gunners, they did not want, because here in Rhode Island, as a CCW holder, I can go on school grounds carrying my gun. And somebody asked them, well, how many concealed carry owners? They go, how many guns have you seen on school grounds in Rhode Island? And the person said, well, I haven't seen any. Well, of course you're not, because they're concealed. That's what they've been trained to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, they said you're trying to make a mountain out of a molehill. Then, of course, this police chief goes, well, we really don't want civilians carrying guns in schools in case a mass shooting happens, right? And we come charging in there and we see somebody with a gun. We ain't got time to sort out who's the bad guy and who's the good guy. We're just going to open fire. I thought, oh my God, that's our police force who they want to be the only ones to carry.
I'm gonna say another code 102 here because it's applicable. All I heard from that was we don't want civilians carrying because we don't want to have to do our fucking job.
Exactly. That's basically what they were saying. You know, then they wanted to ban. Then of course the other one is to ban all semi-automatics and everything else, and they want to wanted to lower the magazine down to 10 rounds only. And somebody said, well, the police stand at issue here in Providence, I think, are 15 round magazines, you know. And they go, well, police will be exempt and the Army will be exempt, you know, National Guard will be exempt and stuff like this. So the pro gun guy said to him, got a question for you. So what you're saying is you want the military and the police to have better weapons than the civilians that you were meant to be representing. You know, and he couldn't answer it because the Constitution says that's what the Second Amendment's for. We're meant to have the same kind of equipment that the military has because we're meant to be a militia.
Well, he could answer it. He just didn't want to.
Yeah. So this went on, you know, same old stuff. Of course, it's all being held back to, you know, for review. So we see what happens from now. But there you go. It went on to about 12:30 last night, all these people. And there was another guy there doing a shall not be infringed speech at 12:30 last night. He was about the only one left in the place. And he was going on about raising up, you know.
My kind of guy.
Yeah, you're a kind of guy. I mentioned you on that one, too. I said he was doing a night strike on us on this one, too. I go, you know, not being infringed. But the guy turned around to him and said, so what you're telling us is that, you know, no, one guy said, well, and I mentioned this in the chat earlier this morning. I said, so he says, what you're talking about is treason. And the guy said, well, it's only treason if we lose.
That's a good point.
You know? So, you know, the guy looked at him and said, hey, he said, you're meant to be here for us. We're not here for you. You know? And somebody says, and they go, well, Massachusetts does this and Connecticut does this. He turned around and said, excuse me. He said, to be quite frank with you, he said, I don't give a damn about Massachusetts or Connecticut. He says, we're here for the state of Rhode Island. You know what I'm saying? You seem to be worried about what everybody else is doing in the country, except worrying about what your constituents want. You know, because they kept bringing up Florida and all these other places. And he goes, we are the ninth. I think he said we are the ninth. I think it was the ninth, or was it the fifth safest state in the union when it comes to gun crimes. And he also goes, you want to ban the AR-15? He said in its 50, 60 years existence, he said there has not been one crime in this state committed with one, but you want to ban it just in case. You know, you said you're doing your knee jerk thing, you know, and I was getting all fired up this morning. That's all I was saying. I was just fired up.
I'm glad, Rick. I'm glad.
You know.
You.
Ohio. Ohio. I don't know if I told you, but thank you very much for your box of goodies. I showed them earlier on the chat today that you sent them to me. So, yeah, I'll look at that one and I'll try that one out too. Yeah, you just showed me another for a shoulder holster. What's this now?
Right.
Judge sends a guy over there for what? What did I miss? Go for 9 months.
Lots of things.
Oh yeah.
But so have I. So there we go.
Sorry guys, I haven't been paying a lot of attention to the chat because when I get on this rant, I don't read that stuff. I'm just looking straight ahead and tunnel vision. You know.
I want a night strike.
So oh yeah, and one of the big pro things that we like is one of the guys asked for that the Attorney General's office do a report once a year on all gun-related crimes in the state. So he goes, if you're going to make all these new laws about gun control, shouldn't we know what's happening and what isn't? He goes, we don't know what's happening. We need to know what. Okay, so he goes, here's a good example. He said one guy got charged for having a gun, but they didn't sentence him. They what's the word for it when they knock it down to lesser crime? You know what I'm saying? The lawyers get together and do their wheeling and dealing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, pleaded it down. So it didn't come in. Then there's another law here that needs to be changed. Is, believe it or not, a underage person cannot be charged with a gun crime or possession of a gun. So what gangs are doing, they're committing these crimes with these guns, then they're giving them to somebody 16 or under to hold for them. So if they're caught with it, right, all the kid gets is a slap on the wrist for having one, but there's no penalty for him having one because of his age. Can you believe this crap? This is the state of Rhode Island. They have some stupid laws here that need to change. And they have other one, and then of course we have the 18 to 21-year-old. Now I'll give credit to this guy. He actually one of the bills was put in by this guy. Can't remember his name. And this guy explained something to him, and the guy said, "I didn't think about that when I wrote this bill." He said, "I will have to think about either changing it or pulling it." He goes. What he said was, he said, "So what you're saying is you don't want nobody until 21 to own any kind of gun." He goes, "What about," he says, the single mother who's 20 years old, has a couple of kids already. We won't go into what, we don't need to go into their lifestyle or whatever, but just say they're 20, have, one child and another on the way. They're single. Their ex-boyfriend or husband was abusive. And you're saying they cannot have a rifle or shotgun in their home to protect themselves. He said, that's what you're doing with that law. He said, he goes, problem is, he said, you guys are thinking with your emotions and not with reality of what you're saying and what you're doing. He said, you're leaving a whole 18 to 21-year-olds out there vulnerable. then while he was on his rant, he was going on about the CCW in schools they want to get rid of. He goes, that's another thing. Say a woman who was in an abusive relationship carries a gun. Her ex knows she carries one, but he's found out because the laws changed that she can't carry it in school when she picks up her child or their child. So where do you think he's going to attack her at? Where he can get her at school? You know? He goes, you guys don't think straight. I thought it was pretty cool myself. You know? But, or am I too hard or too cynical or too mean or too outdated? Or am I not liberal enough?
I guess you're not liberal enough.
You know? So.
Not that I would know anything about that.
No. What's this? What does it say now? Who's this unknown user? The UK lies about its violent crime rates. Did you know that the crime does not get added to the official stats until or if there is a conviction? Oh yeah, so if they don't get convicted, the crime never happened. Yeah, you know.
Or if no one ever gets arrested, then the crime never happened.
Yeah. But that's like that thing. I mean, I got some stuff here on my list I'm going to talk about on the Saturday show. But that was like one of them. Like it's like that those CDC results that were buried for years under the Obama thing, where it was talked about the how many crimes were stopped with guns by the good guy. You know, none of that was put out to the public.
Well, I don't care about that because I don't think that's something that you can calculate. But if you want to rely on something that you can't calculate, don't rely on something that requires, well, I don't like to require something or rely on something that requires some sort of an altercation, because most of the people we're talking about, most of the people that would have a position that you don't need to defend yourself, that's an unnecessary paranoia, are people that have never encountered the situation, or if they have, you know, they're in a mindset where they just think that it's a part of life and that it's not appropriate to try to defend yourself. So if you're talking to somebody who ultimately has no interest or drive to protect themselves or others, then I don't think saying, oh, a poor person, a crippled person, a handicapped person, whatever, a temporarily distracted person now is not a victim because they can fight back. I mean, that is the truth, but again, I think that's going to fall on deaf ears with somebody who has no interest at all and really doesn't like the idea of you defending yourself. So instead, I like to suggest that when there is a law that allows a lawful person to carry a firearm, and we all know what that really means is that there's a law that says law-abiding people can use lethal force to defend themselves and others. When that's the law of the land, a bad guy doesn't ever need to get into a gunfight. He never needs to get a gun drawn on him. The law of self-preservation is going to be where he's going to choose something else to do with his lifestyle that doesn't involve losing his life potentially. He doesn't need to ever be in a gunfight to know that that's a consequence, a potential consequence. So I think that's an easier thing to talk to somebody about when they're anti-self-defense and they don't want to hear it, because that's harder for them to just to blow off. You don't need a CDC report. You don't need some sort of an estimate at numbers. You can just say someone who knows there's a lethal consequence for an action, if they have any interest in staying alive, they tend not to perform that action. And then if they go with you on that simple piece of, like, you can agree upon that, then you can start to look at where the actual gun law or gun crimes happen. You can say, let's take a look at the huge number of gun crimes they suggest we have in this country. But what we also actually have is a huge amount of gun crimes in very small regions of cities. And if we take a close look there, that's almost exclusively due to due to drugs and turf and, you know, bad guy on bad guy fighting about who can sell drugs where. So then you tell them, okay, we live in a safe place, and it's because the bad guys know that there's lethal consequences, except where they're brazen and they're fighting with each other, and they don't care about lethal consequences at the point where they're shooting at each other. So that might be a way to get somebody to realize that their argument is accusing us of something that the few bad guys are actually doing.
Yeah, actually, as unknown user says, well said, G-Webs. That was well put. I understand where you're coming from on that. Yeah, I mean, it's you're right. You're right. I was just so I'm still going to bring it up on Saturday, though. It's just a topic.
I hear you. My other issue is that, I like to think that eventually we're gonna have enough resources and enough stuff that people aren't gonna need to fight each other over stuff, and we'll figure out ways to all live with each other so that everybody's comfortable. And when there's that type of environment, when it's like Star Trek, when there's no crime, basically, because you can just go to a replicator and get anything your heart desires, and there's ultimate fuel for that replicator, so there's just no need to really hurt anybody. I don't want to say there's no guns then. I still want guns. I want all the guns then, because now there's no worry about somebody hurting each other with them. I want all my guns back at that point. So that's another reason I don't like to use the self-defense as a necessity. The self-defense as a justification for the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment is just there to leave us alone.
Even in Star Trek, when they went to visit another planet, they always had their phaser with them.
You know it. Real ones too, not out of a stupid modulator. It was out of a gun rack.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, there we go. But you're right. You're right. It's they were also stating last night that out of the, I think they said what is there, 1.5 million people in Rhode Island or whatever. There's actually
really? Wow.
Maybe that or just over 1 million. I can't remember the exact figure they said. But there was only 4,000 concealed carry weapon permits in the state.
That's ridiculous.
And they're worried about that we're going around shooting everybody. You know what I'm
Wait,
saying?
they're worried about 4,000 people doing wrong. What's the state? What's the census?
The what?
What's the census? How many people are in the state?
Just between 1 million and 1.5 million. I can't remember the exact figure.
And they're worried about 4,000 people?
Yeah.
That's rather stupid.
Oh,
That's not using your mind.
Oh, no. You're absolutely right. You're not. And as people said, we're one of the safe. If you look it up, we're one of the safest states in the union to live with gun crime, because there's very little of it here. So there's I think in the last,
you've got mail.
an AR-15 has never been used in a crime, and I think in the last 10 or 20 years, there's only been one crime committed with a rifle. You know what I'm saying? So, and it just, all this is just knee-jerk reaction stuff to what the rest of the country is doing. Plus, we got to, where I was going to mention too on Saturday is, and I've said this before, if anybody wants to see what Hillary would have been like as a president, just check out our female governor for this state of Rhode Island. Ooh. She is a mini Hillary. Ooh, she just put a panel together of about 20 people or so to look at gun crime in the state of Rhode Island. Now, it's just being discussed. We don't have much. We have very little. Out of all these people on the panel, there was just one pro-gun guy. The other 19 are anti-gunners. He don't stand a goddamn chance. That's the, But I said, I hopefully will believe in the state after my operation. Going to better pastures. I'm not going because, am I going because of the gun laws? No, not at the moment. If some of these laws pass, will that make me change my mind? Possibly. I'm going because family asked me to move out there, And I really haven't, in all my life, I was saying this morning too, it was a big conversation. I've never really been a family guy. I've moved around all my life, being a military brat, then working for the government. You know, this living here, Connecticut, living in New England is the longest I've ever stayed any place other than England. You know, so
But you had to make a transition. You had to make the transition from England to New England, and now you're ready to become a true American and move from New England to like free America.
well, I lived in, believe it or not, before I came to New England, I lived in Georgia for almost 5 years.
Well,
you know.
Well, you know what I'm going to tell you. You never should have left.
Oh, I know, but the putting it bluntly, the job they offered me a great promotion.
It's always how it is.
Plus, here we go. Hate to say this, part of Rick's life as I see it, I also moved up. Besides the promotion, I was divorced, single. There was a woman involved.
Uh-oh.
Right? I move up here, take the job, get all settled, then she dumps me. You know what I'm saying? So don't, what can I say? You know, so there we go.
I'm sorry.
Part of Rick's life, I just let loose again. That I. So there we go. That's how I originally landed up in New England.
I'm sorry, Rick.
Hey, that's life. But that was years and years ago. But that was one of the reasons. It was the job and the woman made me come. If the woman wasn't involved, would I have taken the job? That is the question. You know, looking back on it, no, I don't think I would have taken the job if it wasn't for the woman. You know, but I don't blame women. I love women, but I'm just saying, that's how I landed up here. You know? So, Patriot says, leave it to Jonas to bring us all down.
I didn't do that intentionally, but yeah. I won't deny it happened.
Yeah. Somebody's talking about hot dogs and sandwiches. Actually, after this show, I plan on making myself a steak sandwich. Because I said before, I normally eat around 6 o'clock. I'm not an early eater per se. I normally eat between 6 and 7. So I wait till after the show on Wednesdays to eat.
As of November 15th or November 6th, 2015, the National Sausage Council announced the policy that hot dogs are not sandwiches.
Are not sandwiches. As of when?
2015. It's official.
It's official. So there we go. So I am wrong. A hot dog is not a sandwich. You know?
They're still wrong.
Justifications include that when you exclaim something, you don't go sandwich. You say hot dog. Separate thing.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, but I was brought up, I was given a slice of bread, and my dad would slap a hot dog in it and go, here you go. You know? That's a sandwich. I'm sorry. I don't care what you call it. It's a sandwich.
No, it's a sandwich.
Yeah. What's fake news? Oh, what he's reading? Yeah, it has to be fake internet news.
Yeah, probably got it off Snopes or something.
Yeah. So.
I've never heard of this council before.
That's it. I mean, is this council real? Yeah. That's why we got to check. Well, it's official, guys. As of May 1st, I'm officially on Medicare as being, because I have been disabled for 2 years.
I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, I'm only 61, but I found out that if you've been disabled for 2 years, you automatically go into Medicare.
Well, I'm sorry.
Yeah, sure. I don't mind. Actually, he's going to be better off for me. Actually,
Well, good on you. I guess. I don't know.
Because my medication I get because I take about 6 or 7 different medications every day. When you get old and you had a rough life, you got to take medication to stay alive. Now under Medicare, if maybe it happens in regular stuff too, but under this Medicare plan I'm on, if I do the mail order 3 months at a time stuff, all my medication's free. So there we go. Hey, I'm saving money. Is the way I look at it. Also, who else I wanted to? Oh, talking about this morning and apologize. And there is one. I need to apologize to Dano. I was rough on him this morning because we were talking. I was talking about disability and being on Social Security, and I was saying there's this lady I know at Walmart. She works there, right? Saw me the other day, flagged me down, and I pulled over to where she was, and she gave me a whole bag of groceries. Right? I said, I don't want those. Keep them. I said, let me pay. She goes, no. And I said, I wanted to pay her for them. She goes, no. She said, I got them for you. She said, if you don't take them, I'll just give them to somebody else. So I took them. Now, he said, a couple of people said I was wrong to do that. I don't think so. Somebody's
accepting a gift from someone. It's rude to not.
Yeah, well, that's the way I look at it. Plus, it helps. I mean, honestly, financially, also, it helps me because I'm on a fixed income.
I mean, if it's someone you know and they got it for you and they're giving it to you, it's rude not to accept it.
Yeah, I mean, where he was coming from is, and this is where I need to apologize because I said, "What are you calling them? White trash?" He said, "Well, because I understand what he's saying is most." He said, "Well, they're working at Walmart. They're not earning a great salary themselves, so you're taking some food out of their mouth, And I said, but and this is where the mix-up happened, And I said, well, what are you calling him? Trash, low life, and this kind of stuff. I said, but I know who the lady is, and she's, they're not suffering. I said, also, I have a friend that works there. He's been working there for years, and he earns $14 an hour, I think. But his wife is a professor for is it Pfizer's, the drug company that's here in Connecticut, and she earns about $250,000 a year. He's doing it for something to do. You know what I'm saying? You don't need the money. So not everybody who works at Walmart is on low income. Is what I was trying to say. But
well, that's everybody in general. Not everybody that works a job because they need a job. Some people do need a job, and that's why they work. But some people just work just to keep busy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But what I'm saying is, I accepted this, and I got mad because I felt that he was taking food away from people who need it.
Well, next time you should ask Dano what his Uber store number is.
Yeah. I just felt bad. I don't like falling out with people. You know what I'm saying? I just, I understand Dano. He's Anyway, that was what I wanted to apologize to him. I was going to invite him on tonight, but I don't have his email or anything, and he wasn't in the chat, so I couldn't send him a link. So I'll catch him some other time and talk to him. Oh, is it Sean's in the house? Better late than never, I guess. Hey, Philo.
I believe his email is his name at gmail.com.
Okay. Just Dano at gmail.com, huh?
I believe. I'm not sure. But,
yeah, all right. I'll try that.
I would double check just to make sure.
Sorry I was late. I had dinner detail. Yeah, I said I'm going to go cook my steak sandwich.
I'm going to go have some beef stew.
You know, after the show here. What's today? Wednesday? So, who's next?
Never
Clover.
enough ammo.
Okay. No, he's 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Clover.
Clover's next. Then it's
Clover, that's it. Clover's next. So you have Clover next. Then you have Never Enough Ammo. I haven't watched this show in about 3-4 weeks because I was getting tired of his liberal goddamn bullshit. You know, and every time I listened to him, I thought I was listening to Yankee. Plus, I got tired of listening to Monday nights. I got tired of listening to the 80s show. And 80s show and people talking about goddamn what's that show he loves? I've never even seen an episode because it doesn't interest me.
Stranger Things?
What?
I don't know.
No, the zombie thing.
The Walking Dead.
That's it. That's it. So I don't listen to Mondays. That's all we hear is about The Walking Dead. You know? And I never seen a guy who goes to the movies as much as he does. He sees every movie that's goddamn released.
Yeah, they do a thing now. They do a thing now where you it's not even that much. It's like $50 a year or something, and then you get a pass, and every single day you can go to the movie. It's just like a pass. Yeah, so it's pretty handy. You can. I know friends that get them for their kids and stuff, and you can stack them. It's basically every day they're going to give you one, so you can go to the little place and reserve a ticket for an undisclosed date in the future and get like bank a few of those, and then the kids go to the movie theaters on the weekends for free.
I have to look see if they do it up here in this state.
I think it's through the company that runs all the movie theaters, whatever that's called. You know,
it's called Movie Pass, but I think it's done by AMC. So
yeah, one of the movie theater companies.
Well,
so it works everywhere. People do it when they travel too, I think.
As you guys know, I don't work. I got plenty of time. I can go watch all the new movies too, and I can be a participant with the Mac chat.
And look at it this way, Rick. Say you go to movies and it's like $9 or $10 per ticket, right?
Yeah.
You pay $50 for the entire year. That's like 5 times.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So.
You're right.
So if you see in movies often enough, then you know the whole pass outweighs the price. You know.
Now I watched a movie this afternoon on Netflix because I heard Matt mention the name. I can't remember if he said it was a good movie or not.
Which one?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
I like that movie.
Oh my God, I fell asleep.
Well, you fall asleep a lot.
It was the most boring movie I've ever seen in my life. The only funny thing about it was he thought, what's his name? David Hasselhoff was his dad. I thought that was hilarious. You know? So there we go. I think this was volume 2 or whatever the one I watched today.
Kurt Russell was his dad.
Yeah. But he thought, Kurt Russell was his dad, but growing up, because he had a picture of David Hasselhoff and stuff. You know? And I thought that was funny. That's about the only funny thing I thought about it. You know? And I like the raccoon wolf guy, whoever he was. He was funny.
Yeah, Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah. But the rest of it, shit.
It's based off of comic books. That's all it is.
Yeah. But anyway, there we go. So I watched that this afternoon, and I said, if this is what he's into, I'm glad I don't watch it.
I'll be sure to tell him that next time I see him.
Okay. Yeah, I turned it to Geek Chat. You're right there, midnight. Geek Chat, Wednesday nights.
Well, at least it wasn't a food chat.
You know? Oh, hang on, I just got notified Glover started. So let me wind myself up there. I appreciate everybody who's shown up to listen to me ramble and holler on and everything else like I normally do. I really appreciate it, and I will see you guys on Wednesdays. And the quiz will be starting back up because I got some goodies here from Ohio 45 ACP to give away. So we'll have the normal quick quiz and the email quiz this week. So I need some questions, Sean. So Anyway, and thank you, G Webs and Night Strike, for joining me on the panel. Do you have anything to say or promote or push or anything?
Let you go first.
No, thanks. Just remember to support all the people doing the stuff.
All right, thank you. Night Strike.
GunTube, check it out.
Yeah. Hey,
Oh, wait, can I edit mine? I want to say support all the people doing stuff and even GunTube.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. No, it's hit or miss.
Tuesday nights, 9 o'clock.
All right. And I want to say I'll see you guys Saturday, 3 p.m. Same time, same channel, same place. All right. Thanks a lot, guys. See ya.